Oh, you recognize that word, huh? So, yeah, so bubbles, personal space, that's another word we use for that. We all have a space immediately around us that we protect, or we should protect pretty carefully, okay? And we have to kind of know the rules related to that. What about this kind of boundary? What do you think this boundary, these pictures mean when we're talking about boundary? Skylar, what do you think? You see a cell phone? What does a cell phone and Facebook and social media have to do with boundaries, do you think? Okay, this is a different kind of boundary. Anybody? How about information? Information sharing boundaries. How much we share, how much we tell other people about ourselves, right? That's an issue too. I mean, that's a type of boundary. So we've looked at physical, we've looked at body boundaries, we've talked about information sharing boundaries. So if we were to define a boundary, we might say that it's a limit, a line, or an edge that deserves respect, okay? A limit, line, or edge that deserves respect. So that's kind of the definition I'm going to be using today. So how do we make decisions? How do we decide what our boundaries should be in any of these circumstances? How do you guys decide that? What? Say it again. Yours or the other person's? Your comfort. Okay. So what if you're really comfortable being close physically to somebody? Oh, I'm sorry. I told you that was going to happen. What if you're really close being, you're comfortable being close to somebody, but they're not comfortable with you being that close? You ask, okay? You get consent, okay? All right. Well, let's talk about why boundaries are important. I mean, well, in your opinion, why do you think boundaries are important? Why do we need to know about boundaries? Okay, safety. Yeah, I mean, one thing I'm a sexuality educator, so when we're talking about body boundaries a lot, there are laws, right, around body boundaries. There are very specific laws. We'll talk about a few in a minute here. So yeah, there's laws. We want to respect the law. And can somebody give me an example of a law that you can think about related to boundaries? No? Okay. So related to forcing somebody to do sexual things when they don't want to. Absolutely. That's an example of a law. Also, we're out in the community. We want to be socially appropriate, right? We want to know what the rules are, the social rules are, so we're not offending other people, so people aren't taking advantage of us, right? And lastly, what you said, privacy, safety, comfort. If we think of walls as another example of a physical boundary, and it is snowing and we're having a blizzard, the wall helps keep us safe and warm and protected, right? So our body boundaries do that as well. So these are some reasons, really important reasons why boundaries matter. Okay. So today is really about how do you make decisions about what kind of boundaries are okay. And the first, if we're talking about people and socializing, I think one of the really important ways that we can make decisions about boundaries is by figuring out who we're with, what kind of relationship we have with that person, and then what's the reason for the touch. Or, not even touch. It doesn't have to be about touch. So in front of you, you guys have a worksheet. We won't have time to do them today, work on this today, but you can take this home and They're just really 5 basic relationships that some of us have. Most of us have family and support providers and friends and acquaintances. We don't all have a dating relationship, but this is an example of how our touch boundaries might be very different with different people in our lives. Okay? So we might share affection with family members in a different way than we would do that with a boss at work. Correct? Yeah. So we have to think about, who is this person and what kind of relationship do I have? Okay? So, I know some people like to hug, for example. And sometimes they don't think about who they're hugging, right? They just hug anybody. And if we're out in the community, that's not always appropriate. Okay? Okay, so let me show you how this works. So I'm going to show you a picture, and you guess what kind of relationship the 2 people have based on what you see. Okay? Can you guys all see that? Can you see the picture on the screen? I don't have a pointer, or do I? Wait, let me look. No, I don't have a pointer. Okay, what kind of relationship do you think they have? On your sheet, identify the type of relationship that you think this might be. Family. Why do you say that? Because it's a mother and a kid. We're not going to do that with a kid, are we? We're never going to be kissing a kid unless they're family, probably. Okay, what about this? Second picture. Paid helpers, yeah. How can you tell? Okay, yeah. She's only in her space because it looks like she's helping her with a task, right? What about this relationship? Yeah, dating relationship. Can you think of anybody else who you would touch in this way? No, it's very unique, isn't it? What about this picture? Working, maybe a coworker or a boss. Yep, good. And the last one. What? Yeah, probably friends. Look at how close they're sitting. They look like they know each other. Okay. Do you see how boundaries matter in different kinds of relationships and how they might be different? Okay, we're going to watch a quick movie that kind of summarizes boundaries in different kinds of relationships. This is I don't know if you all have been on the Adult Down Syndrome website it's a clinic in Chicago, and they do tons of videos. They have tons of videos. So we're going to watch their video. Let me get out of this. Oops. How come it's not disappearing? Do I have to close it out completely? What? I'm just going to get out of here. Oh, I don't see this. It's showing up differently on my screen here. Oh, there we go. Okay. Shoot. It's like it's frozen. It's not letting me get out unless I save it, and I can't see the button. Oh, let's just do this. That was the YouTube video. That's it. Okay, we're just going to do it right over the PowerPoint. Yeah, no, I can't see it though. I know, but I can't manage it. I can't start it. Oh, I see. Oh, geez, this is okay. And this is like this takes some dexterity. How do you? I'm like backwards. You have to do it backwards. Okay.
We're an electrical contractor for commercial ag companies. We have 80 employees and 40 trucks, and we operate all over. We're paying almost double what we did last year for fuel, and policies from liberals in Washington are making it worse. Senator Ron Johnson is fighting for relief at the pump. He voted to finish the Keystone Pipeline and increase U.S. oil and gas production. That could make a real difference for small businesses like us. Tell Senator Ron Johnson, keep fighting to restore American energy independence.
I'm so tired of pretending.
I had the YouTube on the top. Oh. Okay, now go back to the, I think my YouTube got switched, or it went all the way through and it's on the bottom of. No, keep going. I do. There you go. All right, here, it's on that one. See if you can do it. I can't. Yeah, it's that one. But you have to. I had it highlighted. I mean, I had it copied and pasted into on the internet, but. There you go.
Hi, my name is Couwenhoeven. I am going to show you how we can touch people in our lives. It's important for having good leadership at home, school, work, activities, and more. This is my mom. I can hug, kiss, and hold hands with my mom. I can also hug, kiss, and hold hands with my brother. He and I usually hug. I can hug, kiss, and hold hands with everyone in my family. My parents, my brothers and sisters, my aunts and uncles, my cousin, and my grandparents. I do not touch my family's private parts. They do not touch my person. This is my boyfriend Jacob. Boyfriends or girlfriends can hug, kiss, put their arms around each other, and hold hands as long as they both give permission. And it's different touch with Jacob when with my family. It is romantic with Jacob. This is my friend Kelsey. I can Side hug, fist bump, high fives, and hands, and wave with my friends. I do not touch my friends' private parts, and they do not touch mine. There are some people I only know a little bit. I know their name, but not much else. There are people like neighbors, therapist, teacher, or support staff. I do not touch their private parts, and they do not touch mine. This is my OTK. With K, I can't high five, fist bump, and wave. People also shake hands when they meet the first time. Here, my mom is, and my friend Kelsey. Sometimes I see children who are not part of my family. I wave to those children. Some people I do not know at all. Those are switchers. Some switchers are safe switchers. Doctors, policemen, and firemen are safe switchers. They may need to touch me if I am sick or unsafe situation and need help. Other switchers are not allowed to touch me, and I should not touch them. Sometimes it's hard to know how you can touch someone. It's okay to ask. You can ask me, I give you a hug. If you do not want to be touched in a certain way, it's okay to say so. You can say that Shirkin is said. Today we talked about how we can touch people in our lives. This will help us have good relationships at home, school, work, activities, and other places we go.
Did that make sense? Depending on the relationship we have with a person, it's going to affect how our boundaries with that person. Okay? Thank you. All right. All right. Some general guidelines when we're talking about boundaries in relationships. The less we know someone, the less information we share, the less we touch, and the more space we allow, okay? So, how does this relate to everyday life? Let's just do a couple of examples. I need some volunteers. Brave souls. Actually, you don't have to say a word. Skylar, you want to be a volunteer? Oh, come on. All you have to do is sit in a chair. Okay. All right. Yeah, that you can do easily. You don't even have why don't you sit right here? I need another volunteer. All you have to do is sit in a chair. Okay. Well, you have to do some thinking. Okay, let's pretend we are at a doctor's office reception area, okay? Doctor's office reception area. And I forgot your name, Nicole. All right, Skylar's a stranger, okay? Pick a place to sit. Interesting. Okay, so tell me why you sat there. You're thinking the stranger might have a question for you. Oh, got it. Okay. All right. That would be okay. Okay. So she gave him a little bit of space. Would anybody have sat in a different place? I would have sat right here. Just because, especially at a doctor's office with COVID and sickness and, just give them a little extra space, okay? But never would I sit right next to somebody if there were other seats in. Why is that? Personal space, and we don't know this person. So when we think about the guidelines, right, the less we know a person, the more space we give them, all right? So thank you. See, that wasn't so difficult, was it? They deserve an applause. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Okay. So this applies in our everyday life, right? We have to make decisions about space and what we do and where we sit and how we interact based on relationships we have with people. Okay. So what else do we have to decide? What else do we have to think about? Where are we and what is happening? Okay, so the situation we're in can also affect boundaries. So, boundaries can change based on situation. So I'm going to give you a picture, and you guys kind of tell me. So here, a bunch of strangers at a concert, right on top of each other. This goes against everything we just said, right? But what are you thinking? Skylar, have you ever been to a concert? No. Yes? Is it like this? Yeah. Were you okay with that? Even though it was strangers who were, in your personal space? Exactly. You're at a concert. And before you go to the concert, this is what happens at a concert, right? If you're uncomfortable with this kind of touching, you don't go to the concert, right? Okay, exactly. Excellent. Okay, what about a crowded elevator? Has this ever happened to you? Have you ever gotten into a crowded elevator? No? No? Skylar, what do you do? Okay. You have a choice, right? You have a choice. When we're talking about thinking about boundaries in different situations, we usually have some power and control. You don't like crowded concerts, you don't go to concerts. You don't want to get in the crowded elevator, you don't get in the crowded elevator. You could take the stairs, which is way better for you, or you can wait till the next elevator and see if it's less crowded, right? You have some choice, okay? What about this situation? You guys play basketball? Anybody play basketball? They are totally in each other's space. He's grabbing his arm. Is that okay? They don't know each other. It's probably not okay. They're playing sports. So, do you not play sports then, Skylar? I do. Okay. Okay, there. Oh, only if you're shooting, though, right? He's not shooting. He's. Yeah, if the ref sees it. Okay. All right. So, 0-0 over there is a good defender. Right? She's doing what she's supposed to be doing in basketball. She's making it difficult for the other person. But she's touching. Do you think she said, hey, can I touch you? Is it okay if I touch you?
No,
No, why not?
because you're not supposed to. We don't know each other.
And what's the situation? They're playing sports. They're sports. That's what you do in sports, right? You're playing another team you don't know. It's a bunch of strangers. But the rule of the sport is you're going to try and defend and get... Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But you're still touching people and you don't have their permission and you're in their space. Is that okay? It is. Yes, yes, yes. I'm trying to get you to think. This is a situation, right? It's different when we're playing sports. It's different when we're at a concert. It's different in a crowded elevator, right? So we have to think about where we are and what's the situation. How do we make a decision about that? So Skylar, you're getting it. Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's get some professionals to be volunteers here. Let's practice this. We are going to have, I need 3 people who are going to be friends. So that's the relationship. Can I get 3 people up here? Come on. Sure, come on up. We're acting here, we're role playing, okay? Roxanne, come on up. All right. All right, we got 3. There we go. Yeah, come on up. Come on up. Or you can stand right here so we're on camera. I forgot to tell you that you're on camera. Okay. So, so Roxanne wants to tell, well, let's just, they're all friends, and they are talking about something kind of private. Okay, they're talking about something kind of private. Let's see what happens to their personal space. Okay. Okay. So what do you guys think of where they're standing? You think, well, thank you for observing that, but they are friends. And I don't know your name. What's your name? Allison? Okay. They are friends, and they're talking about something private, so they have to be kind of close. Otherwise, everybody's going to hear what they're talking about, and it's not private anymore. That's right. That's exactly right. Okay, thank you, guys. Yeah, you can. Thank you. You wanted to do more? Okay. Oh, okay. All right. Let her talk. Let her talk. All right. So the difference, making decisions about boundaries in different situations, okay? We can think about what's going to happen in those situations and then decide how we're going to act, right? We know kind of what the rules are. We know in a basketball game, everybody's going to be after us if we have the ball, right? They're going to be touching us. They're going to be, that's just part of sports. We know if we go to a concert, we're going to be in close quarters, and that's what we do at concerts. So we get to make decisions about that, okay? We get to decide. We're in control, all right? Okay, let's quickly talk about body boundaries more specifically. So I want you guys to know that you own your bodies. Your bodies are yours. You get to decide what happens to them most of the time, okay? So our bodies are private most of the time. We're going to talk about, so, rights, your rights, okay? Your bodies are your own. You decide what feels right for you, and other people have those same rights. So we have to respect other people's boundaries too. Okay? Now, let's talk about private body parts for a second, because although our bodies are private, our private body parts have the most rules. They are the most private part of our bodies. And there's only a few situations in which anybody should ever be looking at or touching our private body parts. Okay? So, do you guys know the names of, let's start with the male. I'm going to show you a picture of naked bodies, okay? I'm just going to mentally prepare you, all right? So you don't have to look if you don't want to, okay? Okay, so private parts on the female. Names. Somebody give me names. Breasts, yes. What else, Allison? Okay, so down there, do you know what that's called? It's called the vulva. Vulva. Vagina, everybody calls it a vagina. Vagina's on the inside of the body, vulva's on the outside. Not Volvo, that's a car, okay? Vulva. Okay, vulva, breasts, and what else? Buttocks, thank you, or butt, okay? What about the guy? Private parts on the guy that we would all consider to be private. Okay, go ahead. Pecs, like your chest? Well, can guys not wear shirts? Maybe not in North Dakota, but you know what? Yeah, sure. It's okay to show off maybe not in the middle of winter, but it gets hot out, or you're at the pool, or you're at the beach. Okay, yeah, guys can show their pecs. But so what would be considered private body parts on the male? Can you think of another part, Allison? It starts with a P. Not pecs, but penis. Okay, yep. Penis. What's behind the penis on the guy? Anybody know the names? That's okay. That's all right. Skylar, do you know the body part that's behind the penis? Testicles? Testicles, slang term. Other people would say nuts or balls, same thing. Okay? And then what's the other private part on the guy? The butt. Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about boundaries for private body parts. So there are only a few times when anybody would be looking at or touching your private body parts. Can you think of some examples? Doctor, okay. Why is it okay for a doctor to look at and touch your private body parts? Skylar? Make sure you're healthy. Yes, one of the doctor's job is they are paid to make sure your whole body's okay, and that includes your private body parts, okay? But not all doctors, right? It would just be the doctor who does the physicals. You know, where you have to put on the gown, okay? If you go to the ear doctor, they're not going to be looking. They shouldn't be looking at your private body parts. Or the heart doctor, right? They're just going to be checking your heart. All right? Does that make sense? Okay. So health, what else? Going to the doctor. Is there another time? Wipe. So hygiene, yeah, keeping the body clean. So some people need help in the shower, they need help bathing, they need help wiping. Those kinds of things are related to just keeping the body clean. Hygiene, yeah. So we got hygiene here. So only if you need help. And you know, the elderly population, people with disabilities do need help with that sometimes. So Yes, doctor, we talked about. What's the third example of a time when somebody might be looking at or touching your private body parts? In a dating relationship, yes, in a not just any relationship, but a dating relationship. And what are the rules about private parts in a dating relationship? You have to be in private, yes, yes, but related to body rights, consent. Consent means you have to be okay with it, and so does your partner. And they also have to be what we would call freely chosen. In other words, there's no pressure. They're not manipulating you. They're not saying, I'll give you $50 if you let me touch your private parts. Okay? That's not freely chosen. No, that would not be good. Okay? So this is it. These are the boundaries for private body parts. The only time anybody would ever be looking at or touching your private body parts. So I want you guys to know the rules. So what happens if somebody's trying to trick you or maybe thinks you don't know the rules? What do you do about that? And they break the rules. Okay, that's a good start. You tell them to quit it, to say no. Very good. Allison said it's her body. Get out of my space. Yeah. You can say it any way you want. You can say it with words, and you can say it with, you can give them some visuals, right? Okay. What else you have to do, Allison? You have to say no if people are... So let's say you have a caregiver, and, they're wanting to do some things that are against the rules. You can... Okay. 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 You're touching my body in a way I don't feel comfortable. Yep. So stop. And then what else do you have to do? Okay, but what else do you have to do? You have to tell someone. When people try to break the rules and violate your boundaries, you have to tell someone. Okay? It's never your fault. Even if you have good information, hopefully, today we'll give you some rules. Even though you have that information, it's never your fault. Okay? You could tell your parents. Yep. Hopefully you have a safe person, somebody you can talk to. Skylar, who would you tell? Is there somebody in your life you could tell? Okay, good. And you just keep telling until somebody listens and believes you. Okay? All right. So, making decisions about boundaries. What's the relationship? What's the situation? And then making a decision based on that. Okay? All right. And what are my rights? That's the other thing that we think about. What are my body rights? Okay, we are right at 11:30. Questions? Is that clear? Does that make sense? Okay, that worksheet is for you to take home. So you can be thinking about, number one, who is in your family, who are in these boxes, who's in those relationships, and then what are boundaries I feel okay with and they feel okay with. So you can do that at home. All right. Does she have a question? Okay. All right. Make sure you fill out your evaluations. And I think you can just, okay. She's going to collect them. Okay, you can stop it. Right? You're welcome.